So this is a kind of reflection, and I don't have my phone. I have to do my here. So the best thing in life and the best way to progress in life is sometimes to stop. That's why, again, this moment is so important for me and for the team, because otherwise we are hamsters in our wheels. And if you do always the same thing and you have always the same results, then you can't progress. So the best thing is, and we are in a world with so many activities everywhere, we don't take time to stop. And I know it seems strange to say, oh my God, I'm here, and Veronique is telling me I'm here, I should be working on my computer doing all of my stuff, and she asked me to stop. Yeah, I ask you to stop for two things, for you, for your well-being, and for me and us, for our performance. So let's start reflecting on ourselves. And I guess, I don't know if you all know that, but so 12 years ago or 15 years ago, we were there at Transdev with Patrick when I was CHRO. And when I joined this company, then the COMEX was like, oh, we've got such a low morale. And, you know, like when I joined here in June, it was said, okay, Veronique, please tell us if people are engaged. And I was like, okay, how can I do that? Like, I just see people and I tell you he's engaged or not. And then I said, okay, what does it take to be engaged? What does it take to be well? And then I looked at all of the competencies we have, and so on. I was like, no, I have to come up with something really simple. And I came up with these 4 questions. Some of you know, some of you didn't know. And I want to start the session with this because I'm starting to share the 4 questions everywhere. And people start to speak about it in the company. And of course, you HR, I want you to know about that. So this 4 question is just when I came up, and it's an open source methodology. So you can use it with anybody. Like if you have people asking you, I don't feel well, 4 questions. But you can use it with your team also. And I try to use it with everybody. You know, each time people come to see me, I'm like, hey, 4 questions, tell me. And the beauty of this question is that, and we'll see that in a minute, it connects you to your heart. I don't want to listen to your brain saying blah, 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 blah. I want to listen to your heart and your gut. Okay, so let's do the 4 questions. The first question, which is so important, so you think about your job today, where you are today, and you connect yourself to your heart, okay? So the first question is, and these questions, you can do them a lot of time. It's very good to take time, like every month is to take time to ask yourself. It's a great conscious question to ask to progress in your life and to feel better. Do you have fun at work? Oh, I don't see a lot of smile here. And I will be very authentic and honest here. I don't have as much fun as I would like here, because there are still things to fix, and that's not common for me not to reply yes to this first question. It's not a problem. Don't worry. Everything is good. I'm very conscious that I miss fun. And I know why I miss fun, and I'm meeting with the HR leadership team in an hour, and I want to listen to them, because there's something which doesn't work totally well. We have a lot of positive things, but there's things which doesn't work. I want to listen to that. No judgment. So the first question is, do you have fun? So the fun is not like, I have fun. It's not like dancing and kind of, it's, like, for example, if you tell me at work, I have fun to connect people. I have fun to solve problems. You know, that's for me. And the question about do you have fun is also, how do you feel on Sunday evening when you know that you're starting the week on Monday? Do you feel your stomach like, wah! Or do you feel like, oh my God, I'm so glad to see my teams? And of course, when you work, and it's traditional, like in 100% of your work, you can't like everything. You always have usually 30% of the work you don't like. You know, all of these things you always say like, oh, I will do it tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow. That's part of the job. I mean, you can't have a 100%. But overall, if you're less than 70% having fun, then we have an issue. And that's my case today. So I'm really transparent here. That being said, I'm not at 0 because I think we have some good things. But so do you have fun? If you don't have fun, look at that. The time we spend at work, this is part of our life. Fortunately, it's not the only thing we have in life, but that's so important. Okay. Second question, do you learn? All of the studies show you that life is about learning. That's why it's so important, this session today. And I'm glad that, because at least today, you will have learned something here. But you don't learn only in classrooms. You learn just living here, coming here, working with your colleagues. Do you learn? You learn from what? You learn from your peers, you learn from your colleagues, you learn from your boss, you learn from your clients. You can learn on different subjects. You can learn on soft things, how to behave, you can learn on technical things. There's plenty of opportunity to learn. If you don't learn, this is an issue. And I guess you saw in all of this thing about the bore out, people who are getting bored. I will tell you, it's as bad to be stressed and burn out as be bored. because the board thing is linked to the impact you have in life. And it's really personal, the impact you want to have in life. But if you don't feel you contribute to something, then the little candle and the little motivation just go down. And if the candle stops, it's really difficult to light it up again, okay? So learning is part of the fun, and it's learn. So do you have fun? Do you learn? And be very open with yourself. You don't have to, but it's really, really important that you have the third one is, do you feel recognized? So it's about salary and compensation, because that's part of it. Not only. The other thing is about culture. Do I feel being in a culture where I feel good? Where people tell me thank you when I do a good job? When people give me courageous feedback when I do a bad job? When I feel myself authorized to go and see my boss? And, you know, I was shocked when I arrived in June. Some of you, I was like, hey, come in my office, come on, tell me. And some of you were like, yeah, oh, can I come in your office? Yeah, please come in my office. Okay, now you're sitting down. Tell me how things are going. I was like, oh my God, do you have people traumatized here? And if we are in this kind of environment, it doesn't work. So the thing of feeling recognized is also like, how do I interact with my colleague? Do I feel people care about me? Like, I can tell you as a leader, I care about you. That's why I want you to be here and to learn and to be trained. That's part of the impact I can have. I want to impact the whole company, but my team is really important for me, you know? And I know it's the same for all of you managers being here. So do you feel recognized? Again. And the last one, it's really like, wow, stepping back here. I love this last one again. The four of them are very important. Is really connecting to your purpose in life. Do you feel that being here, working here, do you feel that you're putting your stone to the cathedral? Do you think you're building something which is meaningful to you? And again, it's very personal. It can be, I want to build a greener planet, and I know that, you know, UGI is going to this path of a sustainable future. It can be like, I love to develop my team, and it just give me a lot of, yeah, it can be a lot of different things. But if you don't feel a sense of purpose, you won't be able to have joy and to be yourself and to be at your best. Can we, so that's very important. And you see this test, because I see like in the room, like everybody is like, wow, and you're not here with your head. I see you're really here like, oh my God, you know? So I hope you're saying yes to those 4 questions. If you don't, of course, go to see your managers. And for next year, I would love to have these methodologies that we put in the annual appraisal, because when you start with the 4 questions before going to your objectives, it connects people to the heart. And when you do that, then you're very authentic about, now let's think about my own performance. Let's be very authentic. What did I do well? Why did I do less well? How can I improve? And when I share that with the managers, and for the next round of annual appraisal, we'll do that, they always say, oh my God, Veronique, I love it. But if people tell me that, if they reply no to the 4 questions, what do I do as a manager? Of course, I mean, that's kind of scary. So the answer is no problem, just relax. Lead by example, just relax in the best way you can. And ask your team member, what would it take for you to reply yes? Because that's where the magic happens. That's where you put the person in the shoes of thinking for her or himself. And you remember how I think I shared it at the town hall. I always say development is both parts. We have a part to play as HR, as a company, to bring some trainings and to develop people and to, but if we do it and you are here in the classroom and you don't listen to it, there's no point. So that's also like, how can I become an active learner? And that's why I'm kind of disappointed to have half of the people in the room today. Because for me, I offer this, and I'm not taking it personally, don't worry. I'm offering it to the team and people don't come. Why? It tells a lot about the spirit that we are not there yet. We are not there yet. Because this kind of opportunity, everybody should take it, whatever is the priority. And I'm the boss here. So I would be very happy to tell Bob or anybody, you know what? And I just told Bob, I was going down and said, I'm going to train my team on emotional intelligence here, and I will give you some feedback there. We're like, oh, okay, very good. You know, that's part of what he wants to see happen in the company. So if you don't reply yes, go to see your manager. Let's start it in HR. And again, and think for yourself, because that will help you a lot. Okay, So now we are in a good reflective mode. We are ready to speak about emotional intelligence. Let's go to the next slide. Emotional intelligence. Let's go to the next one. Of course, what is emotional intelligence? So you've got the definition here, and I did this training. The first time I did it was Stacy from IT. She had a seminar, and I always tell the team here, bring me to your seminar. I'm very happy to come and to share anything you want about behaviors and so on. And she asked me, she said, could you tell us about emotional intelligence? I was like, wow, I love it. So that's how we did it. And then we had the lunch and learn at Utility, which was like, let's put it on the table, and a lot of great feedback. And I was like, oh, I've got to do it for my team. Because then if people speak with my team about this and we didn't do it for us, then it's an issue. So what it is, so it's really the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence your own emotions and the emotion of the other. So in emotional intelligence, you have two steps. The first step is you and yourself. Because if you're not aware to yourself, if you don't know what happened in your body, if you don't know you, don't even try to interact with people. You will be awkward. You have to be really well-centered to be able to have good relationship. And this training today, I want to focus on your part. We'll speak a little bit about like how to have empathy and how to really understand others. But the first two things which are so important to me that we will focus on is self-awareness and self-regulation. And why is it so important at work? That's everything at work. I mean, you know, you see that in all of the studies now, the workplace is changing so quickly that what makes a difference for the leaders and for any employees is the way they manage emotional intelligence, is the way they manage themselves, is the way they have interactions with others. You know, sometimes when we recruit, we are like, oh, this person is, I love the spirit, I love the behavior, she has a self-awareness, she's not as technical as the other one. Which one should I choose? Of course, you choose the one who will be able to learn and who has a great motivation to learn. Because the workplace is changing so quickly that you want people who have learning agility here. That's a no-brainer in today's world. And I have a very, very good news for you. IQ, you can measure it. Maybe some of you did some tests. You can't change it. EQ, you can improve it. Can you believe it? You can improve your EQ level. That's a big thing. And the first way to improve it is to speak about it. Because we tend not to speak about emotions enough. We don't speak about emotion enough at school. I can't believe that. Like, I try to train my children saying, you know, and really put some consciousness. We should have that in all of the schools. And of course, for those who are parents, like, it's great because you know how the children learn. They look at you. So when you're here and, you know, sometimes like it all happens to us. And then you're like, don't shout to me. Oh my God, what am I doing here? Okay, let's try to. So it's a very important one. And how to improve, we'll go to that, but that's a lot about self-awareness and really making sure you are aware of yourself. So let's deep dive into that. Of course, the first question here, we're speaking about emotional intelligence, is how do you feel? And I'm always very interested in companies because the first question, what is the first question that people ask usually is, what do you do? What do you do? What do you think? Do you often hear, how do you feel? Never hear it. But I can tell you, I always start my meeting with what is your proudness, because the proudness is just to make sure that people feel good. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God, you were there yesterday. We were at Utility and I did the fourth question and I spoke about the pride, because proudness that's a word I invented. The pride. So when we do the pride, it's just because we know that human people, like, we are set to look at negative, and I don't understand that. You know, I don't know how we were built, but the human being is set to look at negatives. That's why we have so many bad news and when you feel depressed, I don't know if you feel that sometimes you're like, oh, I love to hear some bad news. You don't even realize that, and you know the reason why you love, because you're like feeling not alone. Oh, I'm feeling bad, but there are a lot of bad news, so everybody. We have to be so disciplined to be positive. Because the moment you start to say, no, I don't want to go down, I want to really just be, it just changes everything. So the question here, and there's no judgment here, the big question, and if you can leave this meeting and ask your colleague every day, how do you feel? It will change the workplace. Because when you say, how do you feel? It's really kind of touching. It's like, oh my God, you're caring about how I feel. Of course, I do care, because you will see that it brings all actions in life and in the company. And there's no right or wrong answer, just being aware. So, do you feel excited? Happy? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel angry? I don't know what happened to you this morning in your life. Maybe something happened with your neighbor which was not nice. Or maybe you had a very good news. I mean, you all come with your emotions in the workplace. And now look at that. You come in the workplace and everybody comes, and as soon as you arrive in the company, you pretend you don't have emotions. How are you? I'm very glad. Thanks. How? What? Yeah, I will do. No, please. How do you feel? Just put it on the table. So when we do the energizing, coming back to that, I know that everybody comes with their emotions. Some have positive energy, great, we will increase it. Some have negative energy, great, we will make it move in the body so we can relieve it. That's the big thing. So it's not just dancing, it's everything. And I guess you feel it. Even this morning, look at that. We had this introduction, which was good. Not a lot of energy. You know, I'm here, like you're here, we have people on screen. So I'm like, judging the energy in the room. Yeah, we're getting there. We have Karen coming, then you have the energy going up. Everybody is 35. But look at that. When Karen sat down, we had a good level of energy in the room, and I could have started. But after we did the energizing, twice as much energy in the room. You know why? Because you relieve all of the bad emotions. Just moving. That's the whole story about emotions. So think about yourself, where do you feel? And then we'll come back to that at the end of the training. If we go to the next slide, so we'll start now to go into the theory, because you have to understand how human being works. If we can go more, it's what I told you. So we speak more and more about alignment between the head, the heart, and the hand. And if we can press here, it's just again to say what I already told you, is that we focus on the head in the company, we focus on the hand, we don't focus on the heart enough. But it's kind of scary sometimes, because to connect back to your heart, that means that you acknowledge the fact that you are a human being. You're not a human doing. You're not a human thinking only. You're a human being. And sometimes, it's much easier not to look what is inside, because it's not so easy sometimes just to look at what is inside. But that's the way to peace. That's the way to performance. That's the way to feel better in life. So if we go to the next slide. Now we'll start a little bit of theory. What is an emotion and why is it so important? Because we always say, I have this emotion. At the end of the day, if you really think about it from a very technical perspective, it's just a vibration that comes in your body. And the crazy thing with emotion is that when it comes in your body, like let's take the one which is the more intense one, the angriness. Like somebody comes and just makes something which makes you feel angry. The very difficult thing is you get overwhelmed with it. It's really difficult to detach. I never saw somebody say, I'm so angry, but I see it from here. No, really. And then it takes your whole body. And the thing is, it's fine. But if you realize that it's just a vibration in your body, that means that, Patrick always say, these too shall pass. Life is impermanence. So even if in the moment you feel so angry and crazy, you have to know that it will. And you have a lot of stories in your life which show you that it always changes and so on. But when you are in the moment with your angriness, it's so difficult to handle. And the worst thing that can happen, and we'll speak about that, is that you act from this emotion. Because that's the difficult thing in life. If you act from angriness, then sometimes you say or you do things that you regret. And then what is the emotion? You feel guilty. And then you feel bad about yourself, blah, 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 blah. So there's nothing wrong with that. The first thing I want to tell you is we're all like that. It's not only you, because the thing is, human being is always like, oh my God. No, it happens to everybody. So next time you have an emotion where you feel depressed or you feel angry, it happens to everybody. But remember, this is just a vibration in your body. So be aware of that. Don't do anything. If you come angry at work, I want to tell you, go back home. Come back in 2 hours, do a foot, like, no, what we all have things. Like I would go to run. You would read a book. You would take a bath. Do something with your body, because it's really physical, that will help you to process. So you don't have to put it on others. Okay? So now, if we go to the next one, so I'm going step by step, and it seems to be but it's the way the human being works. Next slide. How to respond to an emotion. So if we put all of the So recognize and name it. That's what we just said. And then there are 4 ways to deal with an emotion. So the first 3 ones is the one that we use usually, which are unproductive. So the productive one is what I told you is accept. Accept that you have this vibration in the body. You don't care why it happened and so on. Just accept it in the moment. If you resist to it, believe it, I'm angry. The more you resist, the more it will be there forever. I don't know if you have experienced that in life. You are hungry, and then the second day you wake up and you're still angry. And then the more you will be aware of it, the earlier it will go. You can react. I will tell you that's usually not the good one. But that's also true with joy. I saw, like, for the people, the European people who are on the screen, the Eagles gay people won. I've got my green trouser here, very proud being American. But you know, like all of these people, I saw it would get so crazy that you had this young guy going up and just got killed because he fall down. He was so much in the joy. So if you think about it with the emotion, you can do things crazy. So never react on an emotion. Never react on an emotion. And avoid is like coming at work like, all is good, everything is good today. I'm so hungry inside, but I don't want anybody to see. Bad news, Veronique see, because she has a lot of intuition. And not only me, because if you connect to yourself, you know sometimes people are there and you're like, yeah. But let's be really nice with people, because you know we live in a world of appearance. But the more we will be true to ourselves, and the more we'll be able to say, I would love you to come say, I'm so hungry, Veronique, I'm coming around. Okay. Do something about it. Don't work. You will not do good work. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So I'm trying to be like really so the way to process the emotion is, again, stop and off that with compassion. That's a very important one here, and I hope you get it out of what I say. We are human beings. And the worst that you can do when you have an emotion where you don't feel good is to add, and that's usually what we do. So you're angry, you're sad, and then you're like, it shouldn't be like that. So you add to it. Just put yourself in your mind, okay, that happens. And I'm not the only one. Veronique said it at the meeting. It happens to me, and I don't have to pretend everything is okay. I can just tell people, and that's where it's so important for me to build a community of trust. Where you can say, I'm not feeling good. I'm telling you, I'm not answering yes to the to the first question. Okay, we will work on it, and we will work as a team. I will work on myself, and you will work also as a team, and that will be good. We will make this happen. But if I pretend that, hey, everything is so great, no, not the way to focus. Bless you. So one thing which is really useful to handle emotion, if you are at work and you can't go, it's breathing. Breathing is a toolbox that we all have. And I don't know if some of you do yoga and Tai Chi here. We usually breathe only from here. The moment you start to breathe from here, like the baby, and you really like inspire and you put your belly up and you inspire, just making it consciously. Then you can add to it some stops, like you inspire on 2, you stop, you expire. What happens in your body is you bring a lot of oxygen. And it helps the vibration, because remember, the emotion is a vibration, to leave your body very quickly. So if you come to see me saying, but I've got a meeting in 1 hour, okay, you stop everything and you breathe for half an hour. You breathe and you focus on yourself. That would be the best decision you make. But we are so in life that I have to act, I have to be productive, I have to be. Forget about it, because if you're productive from the anger, you won't be productive at all. And it's a way not to feel guilty, you know? And I'm sure you all have it. Sometimes you arrive, emotion, you have a great day, you deliver, you're so happy. And sometimes you're not. But you know, at the end of the day, that's good, because you're great, you're less good. It's just in that way. The more you will try to do like excellence and put pressure on yourself, the less you will manage. Just do your best. What I'm asking my team is always, do your best with the energy you have today and with the emotion which is with you. Look how you feel relieved. So if we go to the next slide. Of course, it matters so much, because this is, if you, and I already spoke about that, so I won't go too much, but the more you accept it, the more you will live in peace, but the more you will perform well. And this is where we are going. You will see that your actions that you take comes from your emotion. So if you're not aware of your emotions, then you're doing actions that you don't even know comes from that, because it's a lot of unconscious bias that we have in our body. Let's go through the model, because there is a specific model here. And that's always difficult to speak about soft things, because it's kind of soft, it's not like figures. So we have a model here, which is really interesting. So what creates our emotions? So the emotion, again, vibration in the body. At this part of the training, you know that. We always say, yeah, but look at that. There is this which is happening in the world. There is this which is happening in the world. I have my children who are doing that. No. So you think circumstances create your emotion? No. It's not the truth. And when you think that your emotions are created by circumstances, this is where you enter in the victim mode. We don't want to be in the victim mode. I could say, I'm not answering yes to the question of happiness, but it's very difficult for me. I'm the country, it's not my natural language, and I just came here, and blah, 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 and on my own, I don't have my children, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I chose it, so I had to. But it's not the circumstances which brings my emotion. Go to the next slide. This is the thought that I have about the circumstance which create my emotion. So different. So the human being is created, what your mind is created 60,000 thoughts a day. You don't even realize that you think so much. So maybe you are here, and I hope you are present, but you think about your work, but you think about what you will eat tonight. You think about, tomorrow is a parade for the eagle, or in Europe, you think about other things. You have a lot of thoughts, but the way you think bring you emotion. So if we go to the next slide, and this is where you will see the model which will be built. I always take this example. I already shared that with some of you. So now I take a very simple one. It's raining today, which is true, actually. First person A, I like it so much, my garden. I don't have to put some water in my garden. So I'm arriving in the office. I'm like, yeah, it's raining. Then the second one, oh my God. When there is this weather, I'm so depressed. I just can't work in this, I need the sunshine. So look at that, the same circumstances, two different thinking, two different feelings. That's powerful. Because that means that if you're aware about your thought, and if you take the responsibility of you thinking about the circumstances, then you can change your reality. Because what is really important is the next slide or so, because that's the top model here, and it's really simple as a model, and it's really difficult in life. So the whole model is the circumstances happens. You have a thought about it, and your thoughts are really usually automatic thought, which comes from your education, which comes from your experience, which comes from a lot of things. Out of your thought, you have a feeling, and your actions are driven from your feeling. And if you think about it, you will see that the feeling you have when you arrive in the office makes you behave in different ways. When you arrive and you're not feeling so good, or you have an emotion, you will tend to send emails to people just to get an answer, because you don't feel in a way that you go to see people, because that's kind of strange. But stepping up and going to see the person and being in front, it's an act in itself. When you don't feel good, you don't really feel being around people. So then you send this email, and then you're waiting, and then you don't have the answer. Maybe you would have gone to see the person being well-centered, you would have had the answer straight like that. You know what I mean? So it's true, I take example of the workplace, but it's true everywhere in life. And the actions create the results. So, hey, if you want to change the result in your life, change your thinking. You can change the circumstances, but you can change the thinking, which will change your feeling, which will change your action. I don't know how you are on the screen, but here it's like, wow, I see everybody like, And the beauty of it seems so simple, like on the theory is great, but way to apply it, it's like, wow. So let's keep on, and then we'll open it to questions, of course. Now I take some workplace example. I love that. So let's just have this one. Let's just remove the second one, Sid. Yeah. So the first one, Okay, I'm okay. Everybody can hear me. I can move or. Yeah. So the first one, yeah. So let's put the first one. So that's a work example, and I think we all have that in our my to-do list. Look at how we are stretched today, and I'm really aware that you're all working hard, and we still need to organize in the best way because everybody is keeping up with work, but we have to organize in the best way. But let's see. My to-do list. The circumstances is, wow, my God, I arrive in the office, I've got that too. If my thinking is I have too much to do, which is your reality, I mean, you have a to-do list like that, what will be the feeling created? I'm overwhelmed. When you start from this point, you can do it. Because if you're overwhelmed, then you want to start to have an action, but you do not know where to start. You're overwhelmed. You just can't have a clear idea. So I do not start my action, or I start, but I do not finish. So you're, yeah, definitely. Oh, so pragmatic. Woo! Thank you. Yeah, so people can hear. So let me do it from here. So I love it. And it's less formal because I feel being like the president here, I'm like, hey, yeah, it's much better. So either you do, so you're so overwhelmed that you don't even start. So you, how you say you, in English, you procrastinate. Or you start, but you're so stressed because you know you're overwhelmed and you think about your other action and you think about that and you've got the meeting coming that you start, but you don't finish. And it's not even. Or you just stop and watch TV, which sometimes is the best option if you're at home. Because if you do work and you're just so overwhelmed, then you have a lot of chance to not do it in the right way. And I'm sure you all experienced that before. When you're so centered and you know where you're going and you, wow, bam, 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 bam. That's so good. You're so efficient, but you're also very happy about yourself. When you're not, then, you know. And you know, there is this concept of flow in life. I'm sure you all heard about that. This is this moment in life where everything is so perfect. Because you see that you're making actions without even thinking about it, and everything goes so well. You think that the world is yours. Like, that's this kind of moment that we want to try to create. And to create that, you have to be very centered and to have like, be very conscious about your emotions. And it's better not to do something again from a bad emotions than forcing life. Because the law in life is if you forcing too much, you break. You break for yourself and you break the system. And you can apply that to change management and to a lot of things. If you forcing, that's not the way it works. And the more we'll go in life, the less it will work, because I can tell you the energy now and the way people are behaving and so on. There's something which happened in the society where everybody is taking back responsibility. And the model that we had before in society and in the workplace where you do that, command and control, I mean, we'll be able to forget about that because everybody's just being so conscious and you're like, is it right here? No. And I always say in the workplace, sometimes when I do some management meeting, we have some process which we need to follow, of course. And sometimes the way people behave, I'm like, do you realize that some people in the room here, they have children, they are responsible for children in life. So don't speak to them like if they were children themselves. You know what I mean? Sometimes we don't realize like, hey, of course, everybody needs guidance. And that's the reason why in the company we have kind of hierarchy, because we want the leaders, and Bob's saying that very well. We love servant leadership. Like, I'm here, that's why I'm so glad to share what I know in here. I'm here to help you succeed. I'm not here to tell you what you have to do. I don't know. I have some ideas. We can speak about it. I can give you my feeling. I can give you the direction. But you're the leader of your work. I don't want to babysit anybody. And that's exactly what Bob is saying, you know, in the spirit, trust and inspire, not command and control. But it requires a lot of awareness about the emotion and a lot. So I'm not the one who will tell you, you don't feel good, but you work. And sometime in life, you know, of course, we have some deadlines. So we have to, but we have to really be conscious about the energy, the space from where we do things. It's like cooking. If you do it and you cook, and I'm not a good cooker, so, but if you do it and you cook from a space which is not love, it will be felt in what you're doing. If you do it from a space which is love, it just have a different taste, because life is not only action and concreting, life is about energy. Margaret is smiling because I try to cook, and but at least I do it with love. Huh? So, second example. So the second one is very, very, very important for me. So this one is important, it's you and yourself. The second one, it implies other. So look at that. So this person is telling me, so let me read it here. Yeah, that, so you were expecting an information from a colleague on the 1st of March, let's say. You don't get the information. You're very frustrated because you know how to be a professional. When you put a deadline is a deadline, and So your first thought is not collaborative at all. Can't believe it. First of all, you don't even think if this person had an issue or whatever. Boom. If you have this thought and you're not conscious, what will be the emotion? I'm angry. Can't believe I'm working in such a company where people don't know how to work. They are all bad. And then you can, because the thoughts and the brain is so powerful. It can make you, I don't know if you had this experience, make a big, big, big stories, huh? And then you can blah, 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 get a lot of files on people. And just stop that. Just give credit to anybody. And I don't want to excuse people, because I want people to deliver and I want people to be ready to have the right values and so on. But sometimes just like, take time to breathe. Because if you're there now, you're hungry, what will happen? You will act from the hungriness. You will call the person and you will ask from an angry way. So if this person knows that it's not on time and he wanted to do it for tomorrow because he didn't have a good energy and and you come like that, the person in front of you will become more angry. And that's how you create bad relationship. Or you give an order. Now you do it now. I don't care about what you feel. I don't care about what happens to you. You don't even listen to the person. I don't care the reason why. You said first. What is the result? I'm not collaborating. Look at that. Look at that. That's how we create bad culture. Then when we say one of our behaviors is collaboration, which I truly believe in, wow. And that's why I want everybody to be trained on that, because then that can be in the culture a way to say, you remember the model, this is where I am. And then you start to speak with people. And then you can start to say, I'm sorry. And if you think about the model, the beauty of the model is that you can deliver, you're the one who doesn't deliver for the 1st of March. You just call saying, I'm so sorry. I'm feeling bad. Of course, it can be every day because otherwise, but I'm feeling bad and I can't do it with the right energy. Would you accept to do it for the 2nd? And then you exchange, you speak, I don't want to be too dramatic here, but that's a big thing. That's a big thing. And it's a very good news because we can work on that. And now that we start to understand how we work and how we think and how we get emotions and how we get action, wow, there's a way to speak with each other, but there's a way also to self-manage. Not saying it's easy, but that the first step of everything in learning is consciousness. Put some consciousness on it. And you see that even for children, it's so easy, just keep the model. And each time there's a feeling in the room, and the children are much more, I don't know if you feel, but they are so easy because they don't have the brain that we have, feeling guilty and adding to the emotion. The emotion is there, it's really but then it goes quickly. Because the worst thing that can happen is not to have emotion. We are a human being, we will always have emotion. It's to keep our state in this emotion. And then the more you stay angry, in stress, and this is where you can get burnout. That's how we, So, if we go to the next slide. In French, I would say CQFD, ce qu'il fallait démontrer, what we had to demonstrate. The whole thing is our emotions drive our behaviors. So now think about it in the company, and we'll stop here. When we speak about the core behaviors, which are so important that we want people, and we'll have a look at them in a minute, all come from this model. So let's maybe have a look at it, and then I'll open to questions. Look at that. Drive for results. Of course, it's related to your emotions. We all want to have results. Again, the space from where you work will impact the results you have. Be customer focused. Look at the collaboration kind of example. It can be the same with customers. And that's, I don't know if you heard Mike Sharp who said, you know, the customers just call me directly. And most of them, I make friends at the end. Because it is in this emotional intelligence where I listen to the emotion of the person. And you know, a lot of things now online, you know that the customer experience, this is where a customer is so angry that you fix his problem quickly that he's even happier than the one who was solved on the first time. Collaboration, we had the demonstration. Communicate. If you communicate from a place where you're not feeling good, it doesn't work. Continuous improvement, that's the thing. Do the best you can. Do the best you can. Demonstrate company values. Of course, it's a lot about safety, respect, integrity. There's a lot about respect. And again, sometimes it can happen. You're angry, but at least you can use the model. I'm sorry. I'm so aware that, and this is a way to say sorry. I blew up. I got cut into that. I'm working on myself. If we go to the people's manager skills, it's important for ourselves, but of course, for our leaders and for our managers, it's even more important. Because when you're a people leader, you have to manage, to coach, and to develop performance. So of course, you need emotional intelligence. And for those who are managers in the room, you see that every human being and that the beauty of life is different. So you have some basics for managing, but you have to adapt to the person. Because everybody comes with their own personality and their own emotions. Drive engagements. I mean, that's a lot about how do we make things happen together. You have to take people from where they are, and you have to make sure in your own team you build a mechanism of support. Because now you take the assumption that not everybody comes with joy in the office. Knowing that, of course, you want to create this kind of support and act decisively. My level, I have a lot of decisions to make, and a lot of you know that my favorite sentence is, "Give me a night." Give me a night. I don't know the answer. Give me one night to think about it. And then after the night I don't know, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to ask my team. I went to see Jen this morning. Jen, tell me what you think about that. I don't want to judge. I don't want to, just want to hear you because it's not clear here. And I won't judge. I just listen. It will give me some insight here. And we'll have a meeting in 1 hour with the management team of HR and Com. That's what we will do. Let's hear what's happening in the room. Not judging, you know? So I don't know where we are at all because I'm so passionate about that. Okay, that's good. That's good. We still have 20 minutes to wrap up. I would love to do an exercise here, and I will ask the people to write in the chat. The first question I have to you, guess what is my question? How do you feel? Exactly. Can we just test it here? How do you feel? Like, just take your emotion here. Reflective. Reflective. Proud.
Enlightened.
What did you say?
Enlightened.
Oh, enlightened. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no truth or wrong answer. It's really how you feel is how you feel, of course. Huh? But look also, listen to you, because it's very interesting to hear how other people feel. Because then you start to react to it and, oh yeah, I feel the same. Oh no. And then you can get curious about it. Oh, you feel enlightened, and I feel like very reflective. Oh, that's
online. Someone says bright.
bright. Wow.
Energized.
Oh, energized. Yeah. Excellent. So you understand now, I guess, my introduction here. This is fundamental. This is the core of us working in the company on the people side. Karen, I'm very glad that you chose to come. I told Karen, you have to come. Sometimes you came because it's your 35th birthday, but I hope you will get a lot out of it. Let's open it to questions because I see everybody reflective, serious. I'm glad to hear energized. This is fun, and I'm sorry I made it a little bit dramatic, not because at the end of the day, it's the heart of life. And when I'm here and you know it's the same in Paris, and when I come to see you in the office and I come to say hi, how are you doing? My question is, and I will be very explicit after this training. How do you feel? How do you feel today? It's not like, hey, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. No, I want to know how you feel because I know that this is how you will feel good and this is how you will deliver well and we will deliver all together. Pleasure and efficiency, it comes with that. Okay, let's open it to questions.
Going online, there's a question.
Okay.
Question / statement. Considering the extreme importance of emotional intelligence to diversity and the success of the organization, would you consider converting this presentation to an online training that is mandatory and must be completed annually by all UGI employees?
Big applause. That's when we were at utility, we had some questions, exactly the same questions like, oh, we love it, but we want so. That's definitely something, and you know, we're working on having more programs on development. What I will tell the ELT about this next week, and John Cower was there when I did it with Stacy, and I will propose to go to see every team and speak about that because I think that's part of our role also. You know, HR is a lot about this because it's about people. But then, yeah, let's think about if you have any ideas. Let's think about any ideas to do it. And I know it was recorded, so we can even share it with. So definitely, we'll share it with our team. And I count on you to ask the people who are not here to really look at it. It's always better when you're here live, but that's okay because we need that. But yeah, definitely. Thanks for the question. It's really something that we want. And I know there were in the past some emotional intelligence training here at. I heard that at utility or it didn't. I have some people who tell me after this training, oh my God, we need it for everybody. We never had that. And some people tell me, oh, we had that before. So I'm not so clear about that, so we have to do an assessment of what was there, but for sure we need that in the development path of leaders, but everybody. Any other questions about like if you want, you can also share a specific case that you have and we can try to use the model if you feel at ease to do that. Like, or you remember like 1 week ago you came with an emotion, try to. Because then I told you that when I'm an executive coach, so that's the model I use. Each time I coach somebody, yeah, does that happen? And now I fell. No. Okay, let's say that happened. What did you thought? What was your thought about it? Oh no, that happened, and I go, no. What did you think? What? And so you. Any other comment, questions? How it resonates? Marguerite.
So it did resonate very well. My question is, in a virtual, in a workplace, which is becoming much more virtual, as leaders, how do we make sure that we actually capture all of these big signals, demonstrating that maybe someone is going through bad emotions or is not feeling as well as could be? Because of course, when you are in person, it's much more easy to capture signals, remote, less easy.
Yeah, so two answers to that. So first of all, that's the managerial routine, because you know we ask managers to have some one-to-ones, we have managers to have some team meetings, and sometimes, and I'm the one because you're part of my team, sometimes I have to remove some of the one-to-ones, so we are not perfect here, but we should all have as managerial system to be able to get the individual and collective kind of feeling. And again, what I want to say here is we ask people to return to the office, and there's a reason for that, is to be more collaborative. But if you think about it with the model now, when you're not feeling good and you're right in the office and you feel that you're here with colleagues who are supporters. I heard somebody saying last time, I don't know, somebody like, oh, I'm glad I spoke to you because it helped me. Look at how it can help just to have the vibration and the emotion go down. There's nothing worse to have an emotion and be on your own. Because if you're on your own, which happens, this is where your mind starts to, oh, blah, 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 and you make a big thing out of it. And you can, I'm sure that everybody has some stories about things like you're at home, you feel so depressed, and then you make a big thing and you arrive and you see some people and, oh my God, what happened to me? I was in my world. That's the collaborative example. We have a lot of fights, which is okay, which comes from our experience. And you heard Bob speaking about breakthrough thinking. We want to bring breakthrough thinking in the company. That's very related to emotional intelligence, because the first thing about breakthrough thinking is to say, how can you, instead of coming from where you are, put yourself in a world of possibilities. Everything is possible. Ah, okay. But to do that, you have to remove all of the files you have on people, because if you start saying everything is possible, look at me. So let me make an example. I arrive here, you know, I have a lot of convictions about what should be HR, how we should impact on the people. Now I arrive here. When I arrive in June, I'm like, oh my God, wow, interesting. Everybody has a moral law. We don't have all of the process. We don't have a, if I come and my files are, we will never manage. We don't have the team. We don't have the people. And I'm not saying, of course, we can change things or not. But if I come with this, forget about it. I will never manage to do it. If I come with the same thing, okay, I see a lot of commitment, which I see in our team. Like everybody is so committed. Everybody wants to have an impact. Everybody wants to do well. Everybody is so nice in the morning. You know, when we come, you see like, and again, I'm very intuitive, so I see if it's fake or not. You know, when we just say hi, you feel there's something there. We have this family spirit in this company, which is not the case everywhere. That's why people stay, by the way. So that's to answer your remote question. The real reason why we want people to be back in a flexible way is also for that. It starts with that. Any other questions here? Comment?
Has this presentation been shared with management?
Yeah, so that's always the question I have. So for now, I created it when Stacy from IT asked me for a team. I shared it at Udility, and then I wanted to share it with you here because people start to speak about it. And then with Marguerite and Wendy, we will think how we can make, now that you know the program and this, how can we use it and make it, you know, share it with everybody. Because the beauty of it is, of course, again, self-awareness, but also being able to speak about it. Because now that's where I'm very happy. We will be able to say, in the model, I realize a lot of things, but I'm not well today. Oh, okay, that's good. How can we help you? Any other question online? And the good news is it's universal, because human being is universal. There's nothing about culture. We all have emotion. We all work the same, you know?
No more questions.
No more questions. So I think we can close it. Wendy, do you want to close it in a specific way? What time is it? I see everybody so reflective, but I love it also, you know, that's good.
No, just gratitude and thank you for presenting something that's so foundational for all of
Yeah.
us. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So let's finish with a big round of applause. Everybody on screen, thank you so much for joining. Unfortunately, we can't see you, and I know I always ask that, and I know it's not possible, but you know, I would love so much to see our people here, but that's okay. Have all a good day. And Patrick, when is our next? We didn't put the date yet on our next town hall and training, so I think we'll have a look at the date in the HRLT and make sure we can send it. Or do we have it in the agenda already?
We've saved the dates, but we need to shift. We need to shift our next HR town hall meeting because it's during gap. So
Yes.
we're looking at the date. So possibly the 27th. You're going to be in France, but
Yeah, we can host it from
hybrid.
over there. That would be good. By the way, when Patrick referred to GAP, this is a breakthrough. So this is what we are launching here. And I think when Bob was here at the last town hall, I mentioned the fact that we spent 1 week with the ELT working on us as a team. And of course, it was not exactly like that, but it was kind of the spirit. So how can we make breakthrough thinking, and how can we work well as a team, and how can we think about our group, what is the vision, what is the purpose to make everybody feel part of it. So that's the beginning of the work. So we started at the top. Now we are bringing the top 60 leaders in March, and we'll make sure that we can impact the whole company. So you will hear more about it. It's really just the beginning. Good. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.